Hey there, welcome to the Millennial Book Junkie. My name is Monique, and this is the very first video in a brand new series I'm going to be doing each month called Thriller Watch, where I'm going to be talking about all the books, events, and movies happening in the thriller genre each month. So for this very first month, we're going to be talking about all the upcoming thriller releases, movie releases, and thriller author events happening for August 2025. Now, the majority of these books, movies, and events that I'm going to be talking about are happening in the US, and a lot of the dates are US dates. I know that books come out and thrillers come out at different dates in different countries, so I will include some of those countries as I come across them, but the majority of these, if I don't say where they're coming out in the US. So let's get started. There are a ton of thriller books coming out this month, and I am so excited for it. The very first one is coming out August 1st, called Last Seen by J.T. Ellison. This one is about a woman named Haley whose life is just falling apart. Her marriage is ending, she's lost her job, and she's also found out that her dad has been lying to her whole life about the way that her mom actually died. Her mom was actually murdered, and so she goes to this very small town in Tennessee looking for answers, and what she finds there is way more disturbing than she ever imagined. Now, this book is coming out on August 1st. As of the filming of this video, it is currently available for free on Kindle First Reads. The next thriller coming out in August is The Dead Husband Cookbook by Danielle Valentine. This one is coming out August 5th, and I do have to say the cover looks quite delicious. This is about a famous woman chef named Maria Capello, whose husband dies under very mysterious circumstances. And for a long time, the media is kind of like, what happened to this woman's husband? Because his body was never found. But then years later, she decides she wants to write a memoir a la Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And she invites a woman named Thea to come and write this memoir about her and her life and hopefully what happened to her husband. Well, when Thea heads out to Maria's upstate farm that's like cut off in the middle of nowhere, things start getting a little creepy, and Thea starts to wonder if one of the biggest dishes that Maria has ever created was only delicious because the main ingredient was her husband. We shall see. So this one comes out August 5th. If you really like this type of story, I encourage you to add it to your TBRs. The next thriller coming out in August is The Locked Ward by Sarah Pekkanen, and this one comes out August 5th. This one is about a woman named Georgia Cartwright who is adopted into a Southern family, and then as she gets older, she's accused of killing her sister, who is the biological daughter of that Southern family. And while she's in a psychiatric institution, she actually gets a visit from her biological twin sister, and she tells her biological twin sister, I did not do this. And so her twin sister's like, I don't know what to tell you. You're in an institution. I don't know what I can do about it. But then Georgia kind of manipulates her to get her out of this institution. And the sister has to decide for herself, like, is Georgia innocent or is she just manipulating me? It sounds really, really twisty, and I'm really excited for this one. I have not read any Sarah Pekkanen, but I think I might have to now. So this one comes out August 5th. The next thriller coming out in August is Flash Out by Alexis Solowski, coming out August 5th. Alexis Solowski also wrote Here in the Dark, if you haven't heard from her before. I believe this is her second novel. Flash Out is about a college student in the 70s who gets caught up in this mysterious performance group, and she ends up leaving her entire life behind to follow its charismatic leader, which, if that doesn't sound like a cult to you, I don't know what does. And then we follow the timeline of a woman in the 90s who is a theater teacher who gets a very creepy letter about her past, and she has to decide if she wants to embark on that journey of figuring out where this letter came from and basically unraveling all the work she's done to get to where she is. So this one gives me cult vibes. If you like thrillers that have like this cult kind of synopsis feel vibe, I think you might like this one. So this one comes out August 5th. Also on August 5th is Jenny Cooper Has a Secret by Joy Fielding. If you have not heard of Joy Fielding, she has over 30 novels. I have one of them called See Jane Run, and she is one that I've heard is such a good writer, and her books are unputdownable. So this one is coming out on August 5th, and it's about a 76-year-old woman who is living at home, and her daughter and son-in-law move in to her house with her, and they kind of make her crazy. So she decides to go and visit her friend who's in her 90s. She's an elderly woman who is living in an Alzheimer's facility. And her 90-year-old friend basically tells her, look, I've killed some people. And so our main character is like, I think you're just not thinking straight. But really, she's wondering, like, did this woman kill people, like, for real? So this one sounds really good because our main character is an older woman, and I'd be curious to see what life is like for a main character of that age. So I also really need to read more Joy Fielding. So there you go. This one comes out on August 5th. It looks really good. The next book coming out on August 5th is Departure 37 by Scott Carson. You might know him from his book The Chill. It was very good, very haunting. He's also got a lot of really good praise from Stephen King and Joe Hill, so it really goes along with that haunting vibe. This book is about a bunch of pilots who all refuse to fly planes on the same day because they all got a call from their mothers the night before telling them not to. But the weird thing about this one is some of the moms are now dead and others don't even remember making the call. At the same time, we have a 16-year-old living in Maine who is extremely bored, but she starts seeing really weird stuff around her house, which was built on land that used to be an airfield. And then we also go back in the 60s and learn about scientists who were discovering like some really dangerous things. And I feel like all these little stories are going to tie together really well. If I know Scott Carson, The Chill was so good. So this one is definitely on my TBR. It comes out August 5th. On August 11th, we have a thriller coming out called The Tapes by Carrie Wilkinson. This author is new to me, but he's written a ton of books. This one really grabbed me by the cover, and it's about a woman named Eve who is cleaning out her father's house, who recently died, and she comes across a box of cassette tapes, one of which has her name on it. And on the tape is a recording from her mother that says, "If you are listening to this, I have been murdered." That sounds very chilling, and just reading that synopsis, it has me. So naturally, Eve starts digging into these tapes, and what she finds is a little more creepy and dark than what she expected. So this one comes out August 11th. I think this author, most of their books are on Kindle Unlimited, so check it out. This cover really just has me. And then on August 12th, we have a new book from Karen Slaughter called We Are All Guilty Here. This is book 1 in her new series, the North Falls series. If you have not heard of Karen Slaughter, which I highly doubt, she's the one that wrote the very popular book Pretty Girls, and she's also written all the Will Trent books as well. This book is about 2 teenage girls who vanish and an officer named Emmy Clifton who is trying to bring them home. One of the girls is her really good friend's daughter, so she's definitely trying to bring them home. She's got like a personal attachment to it. But then she kind of finds out that these teenage girls were not who everyone thought they were, and now she has to figure out like why they were keeping secrets and like who would do anything to keep those secrets secret. So I'm really excited to read this one, and as it comes out, I really have not read anything other than Pretty Girls, but I really need to dive into some Karen Slaughter series because they just, if they're anywhere near as dark as Pretty Girls, I think I'm gonna love them. On August 12th, Samantha Downing is coming out with a new novel called Too Old for This. It's coming out on August 28th in the UK. If you don't know Samantha Downing, she also wrote My Lovely Wife, which I've heard is very popular, also on my TBR. Too Old for This is about a retired serial killer named Lottie Jones who just wants to hang out and play bingo, hang out with her friends, nothing really much going on. But she gets this investigator knocking at her door, like trying to investigate some unsolved murders that happened in her past. And Lottie just cannot have this. This is kind of a story about whether or not this serial killer is going to have to murder again just to get this investigator off her back. And if so, what's one more murder? What could happen? She's killed so many people. Who cares, right? I don't know. I guess we'll see. This one's coming out on August 12th in the US and August 28th in the UK, so mark your calendars. Also on August 12th is a new book by Chuck Tingle called Lucky Day. He is back with another horror. If you have not read any of his books, he is very widely known for Bury Your Gaze and Camp Damascus. This one seems also super creepy. It is about a day where 8 million people on Earth just die from random freak accidents, like being strangled by balloon ropes and being killed by a chimpanzee wielding a typewriter, that kind of weird stuff that is highly improbable. Now, there's a woman in the story who was affected by this loss of 8 million people who died very improbably. Her name is Vera. She's a statistics professor. And she actually joins up with this special agent where they are investigating this casino that is extremely lucky. Like, it's very improbable that people could be so lucky at this casino. And apparently this casino is connected to those 8 million deaths. And if this special agent and if this professor do not work together to figure out the connection, it's possible that more deaths could happen. So this one sounds so unique and good. I cannot wait for this one. Also on August 12th is Kiss Her Goodbye by Lisa Gardner. This latest thriller is book 4 in the Frankie Elkin series. In this book, Frankie is asked to look into a missing Afghan refugee named Sabera who vanished 3 weeks ago. But then later, she is seen on video walking away from a murder scene. And from there, things just get messy really fast. And as she digs deeper into the family, she uncovers very dark secrets and time is running out for all of them. This one sounds highly suspenseful. And again, this one comes out on August 12th. The next thriller coming out in August is The Once and Future Me by Melissa Pace. It comes out on August 19th. This one is set in the 1950s in Virginia. It's about a woman who wakes up on a bus that is traveling to a psychiatric hospital. She has no memory of who she is. She just knows she's a fighter and something is not right. All her doctors say she's delusional, dangerous, but then she keeps having this vision of like scientists asking her to complete this mission to save all of humanity. She thinks this hospital is messing with her until her husband shows up and said, "Hey, we've been through this before, love." And she's like, "Okay, so what's real?" So she's trying to figure out if she herself knows what's going on or if the doctors and her husband are right and really maybe she's not right. Supposedly this one is like Dark Matter meets Girl Interrupted, and I am highly intrigued. This next thriller coming out on August 19th sounds so good. It is called The Unseen by Anaya Alborn, and I have been wanting to read her books. They just seem right up my alley and super spooky. She has another book called Brother that I think did really, really well, and it's been on my TBR forever. This book is about a woman named Isla who is grieving a very huge loss, but then one day this orphaned kid shows up at her door and her husband take him in, but a lot of weird things start happening. Not just like him saying weird stuff or creepy things happening around the house, but like their reality seems to be glitching, like things around them seem to be off, like their own fabric of reality. And it very quickly becomes clear that there's something wrong with this child, and maybe even with the world around them. This is definitely going on my TBR. Comes out August 19th. Don't forget to add it. The next thriller coming out in August is The Possession of Alba Diaz by Isabel Cañas. It's coming out on August 19th. This author also wrote The Hacienda, which has been on my shelf and TBR for about a year now, so I really have to get going with this author. It's set in 18th century Mexico in Zacatecas, where a plague is sweeping the country. And a woman named Alba escapes the plague by hiding out in a mine with her and her family. But once she gets to this mine, she starts experiencing visual hallucinations, she starts sleepwalking, and ultimately something far more terrifying than the plague is happening to her. And she joins forces with her fiance's cousin to kind of help her through it. But this sounds super creepy and like something I probably won't read at night if I do read it, which I probably will. The next book that comes out in August is Forget Me Not by Stacey Willingham on August 26th. May or may not be my birthday. Stacey Willingham is known for Flicker in the Dark. I think that was a really popular book that I've been meaning to read. This book is about a woman named Claire whose sister disappeared 20 years ago. Does this sound like Pretty Girls? It really sounds like Pretty Girls. The case was supposedly solved, but Claire never got closure. So she ends up back in her hometown and she takes a job at a quiet vineyard. And while she's there, she discovers this old diary, which also has some kind of connection to her sister's disappearance. So now she's kind of on the hunt to see what happens to her sister. And I absolutely love these types of books, and I really hope this one is as dark and twisty as Pretty Girls was. We'll see. Also on August 26th, we have The Break-In by Catherine Faulkner. Catherine Faulkner also has 2 other books, The Other Mothers and Greenwich Park. This one sounds more like a domestic thriller. It's about a woman who kills someone during a play date. And even though it's ruled self-defense, she keeps getting all these weird messages that are creepy. And also her friends and her husband and her family, they all start acting really weird around her. And she has to figure out like what is going on. And what she discovers is really going on is that the answer to all this craziness is probably more closer to home than she would have liked. All right, so that wraps up all the thrillers that I was able to find coming out in August. Obviously, I have not gotten all of them, but if there's any that you're looking forward to, drop them in the comments and let me know. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is what thrillers are coming out in paperback. We all know hardcover is super expensive, so some thrillers that are coming out in paperback include Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. That's a really popular one. That is coming to paperback on August 5th. The Wrong Sister by Claire Douglas. This one is also coming to paperback on August 5th, as well as Crosshairs by James Patterson and James O. Bourne. August 5th. That one is becoming paperback. I just realized that's James and James. Interesting. Then on August 12th, you have Someone in the Attic by Andrea coming out on paperback. I know that one's been in hardback for a while, so that's exciting. Also, if you're a fan of Robert Crais, The Big Empty is coming out on paperback on August 12th, as well as High Season by Katie Bishop. And then on August 19th, The Surrogate Mother by Frida McFadden is coming out on paperback. I also have a ton more books that are coming out on paperback this month that I'm going to link down below in case you're interested. All right, now let's talk about thriller events. The majority of these events are going to be thriller author events, and I'm going to be putting the links down below. So anything I mention, feel free to just go down below and figure out where your favorite author is going to be, because there's a ton of thriller authors that are touring this month, and if they're in a city near you, I highly encourage you to go. Book signings are so fun. So to start, our first author event is Karen Slaughter. She's touring the US, thankfully, and she's going to be promoting We Are All Guilty here. Some of the states that she's going to be visiting are Georgia, Pennsylvania, Texas, Ohio, and Colorado. So take a look down below for the full states. She's not coming to California. I'm so sad. I might have to go to Colorado to go see her. Next, if you are a fan of Ruth Ware and you live in the UK, she's going to be at an event in the UK this month. She's going to be at St. Hilda's Crime Weekend at the University of Oxford on August 9th. Sarah Pekkanen will also be touring this month if you're a fan of her novels. She'll be promoting her new novel, The Locked Ward, and she's going to be in Delaware, DC, and Maryland. Next, we have Stacey Willingham, who is definitely doing a lot of touring to promote Forget Me Nots. A few of the states she will be in are North and South Carolina, Texas, Arizona, and Colorado. And for fans of The Quiet Tenant, Clemence Michelin is going to be touring this month as well, promoting her new book, Our Last Resorts, which came out last month. She's going to be at Old Town Books in Alexandria, Virginia on August 1st at 7 p.m. So mark your calendars. Also, if you're going to be anywhere near Doylestown, Pennsylvania on August 1st at 7 p.m., Sherry Lapina is going to be promoting her new book, She Didn't See It Coming, at the Doylestown bookstore. So if you are a Sherry Lapina fan like I am and you live close, you know what to do. On August 2nd, Charlie Dunley is going to be promoting his new thriller, Guess Again, at Barbara's Bookstore, Inc. in Lombard, Illinois. On August 13th, Megan Abbott is going to be promoting her new novel, El Dorado Drive, at Off Square Books in Oxford, Mississippi on August 13th. I also think she might be on tour, so I'm going to link her website so you can see if she's touring any other places this month. And for any fans of Karen Rose, she's going to be promoting book 4 of her New Orleans series at Gallery Bookshop in Mendocino, California on August 14th. And that book is called The Knife in the Back. Samantha Downing is also going to be promoting her new book, Too Old for This, at a place called Book Passage in Corte Madera, California on August 20th. Then on August 20th, we have Liv Constantine promoting her book, Don't Open Your Eyes, at RJ Julia in Madison, Connecticut. If you are a fan of Lisa Unger, she's going to be interviewing another author at Tombolo Books in St. Petersburg, Florida on August 11th. She's going to be interviewing author Eli Craner on his new book, Mississippi Blue 42. And if you're a fan of Carter Wilson, like I currently am, he's going to be in Upper Arlington, Ohio at the Storyline Bookshop doing a book signing for Tell Me What You Did on August 6th. Now let's look at thriller books becoming movies or series this month, or thriller books that are in development to becoming movies or series. The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osmond is releasing in select theaters in the UK on August 22nd, but it is going to be streaming on Netflix for all on August 28th. Next, we have The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon by Stephen King. This one has not become a movie or a series, but it has been in talks of becoming a movie or a series. at least twice. So there have been 2 failed attempts to make this book a movie, and it has not gone well. Well, we now have news that apparently it is actually going to become a movie, finally. Maybe 3rd time's the charm. And it is set to be directed by TJ Malner, who also directed Strange Darling. If you saw that and liked it, you might be excited for this one coming out then, because I saw that movie, I enjoyed it. Very excited for The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon to become a movie. I also read that book a while ago and really enjoyed it. It's a small one. It's doable. Now, the next few thrillers becoming movies or series are not coming out in August, and this news did not happen in August, but this is news to me. So I'm going to be sharing a bunch of thrillers becoming movies or series in the near future. Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera is going to become a series. Also, The Whisper Man by Alex North is going to become a Netflix movie, and they've already cast Robert De Niro and Adam Scott to play in it. So exciting. Victorian Psycho by Virginia Feito is also going to be a movie, as well as The Last Mrs. Parrish, which I have yet to read, and I have heard it's going to star Jennifer Lopez. Also, Count My Lies by Sophie Stava is going to be a series starring Lindsay Lohan. Stephen King's Carrie is also going to be getting a series in the future. And it is rumored that Cujo is going to be getting a film reboot on Netflix, Cujo by Stephen King. And I've not read that one, but I feel like the reboot is going to be very creepy. And lastly, let's see what scary movies are coming out this month, because there are a lot of them. The first, on August 8th, is Weapons with Josh Brolin and Julia Garner. This is one of my most anticipated movies for August that I want to see. It's about a bunch of missing kids from one classroom that just disappear in the middle of the night, except for one. They all just wake up and leave their beds and disappear into the night. And a lot of creepy stuff starts happening after that. You have to watch the trailer to see. It looks a little gory. I'm really not sure what is going to happen in this movie, but it is from the same director who did Barbarian, Zach Kreger. And if you liked Barbarian, this might be something interesting for you. Also on August 8th is a creepy movie called Shaman. And this is brought to you by the same executive producer who did Talk to Me. I don't know if you saw that movie, but I really liked that movie. This is about a missionary family who travels to Ecuador to convert the indigenous people who live there. Everything is going well until their little son wanders into a cave and basically gets possessed. And things start going downhill from there. The trailer looks super creepy. I don't really like possession movies, to be honest, anymore. They're just too scary for me. But this one looks a little too good to pass up. On August 15th, Witchboard is coming out, and this is a horror movie that draws a couple into this like old ancient artifact, this witchboard, and they end up toying with it, and eventually some supernatural demonic stuff starts happening. It's based in New Orleans, and it sounds extremely scary. I may or may not watch this one. Like I said, I'm really a scaredy cat when it comes to possession. I don't know. The other one sounded very unique. This one, creepy. I could be convinced though. On August 15th, we have Eli Roth presents Jimmy and Stiggs. And I really can't say too much about this movie because I watched the trailer and I don't know what that was, but basically it is a fever dream of alien mayhem. You can interpret that as what you will. You need to watch the trailer for that because I don't know what I just watched. I don't know if I will see that one. It sounds a little wild. On August 20th, we have Hell House LLC Lineage. This is the 5th movie in the Hell House franchise. This franchise started back in 2009 as a found footage documentary about an abandoned house. It was like an abandoned attraction house called Hell House. This is the 5th movie in that franchise. I have not seen any of the films, but I did watch the trailer for this one. It sounds creepy. There is a creepy clown in this one, kind of like a mix between Michael Myers and the Terrifier clown. So yeah, if you don't like clowns, steer clear. On August 22nd, the movie Trust is coming out with Sophie Turner. Fans of Game of Thrones know who Sophie Turner is, and I am so glad she is dabbling in horror and thriller. In this movie, she is a famous woman, and I think something bad happens. She gets canceled or something, and she needs some time away. So she kind of retreats to this isolated cabin, and apparently she gets trapped and she is in this deadly game of survival. So if you like survival thrillers, you will definitely like this one. Check out the trailer. Sophie Turner looks amazing, and I am really excited to see this one when it comes out. Also, if you really like old movies, on August 29th, Jaws is going to be re-released in the theater. It looks like it'll be coming out between August 29th and September 4th. I think it's really cool to relive Jaws in the theater. That is one, obviously, that came out way before I was born, and I would love to see that one in the theater. I think it'd be extra creepy. Also on August 29th, we have The Toxic Avenger with Peter Dinklage. Also, Game of Thrones fans would know who he is. Apparently it's a reboot. It's a reimagining of the cult classic, which I have not seen or heard of. But it also has Elijah Wood, so it sounds really good. Check out the trailer. I'm really not sure what it's about. I feel like it was about some guy who was like taking revenge, and it looked really creepy. So if you're into that, or if you know of the original, definitely check it out. So that wraps up all the thriller books, events, and movies that I know about coming out in August. Thank you so much for watching my very first video in Thriller Watch. So I'll be publishing these hopefully at the end of each month, like the very last day of the month, so that you know all the delicious thrillers coming out the next month. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any comments on this, if you liked it, if you're looking forward to anything, if anything spooks you, any comments at all, let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you love this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.